Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 171 of the All Dolphins podcast on this Friday, December 22nd, 2023. We will take care of the number recognition player hat tip right away. Todd Wade, offensive lineman from Mississippi, the second round pick in the 2000 NFL draft when the Dolphins did not have a first round pick because they had traded it to the Carolina Panthers 2 years earlier for a second round pick that they used to select Patrick Surtain. Todd Wade, 4 year starter with the Dolphins, very solid right tackle. Not Pro Bowl, but like right below Pro Bowl level. Really good, solid player. Went on to play, I want to say, with Houston after leaving as a free agent. But good, solid player. The first time around, we had recognized Mike Charles, who was a player selected in the 83 draft after Dan Marino. So this time, another second round pick. Todd Wade, happy to you.
You know what I just realized with these latest recognitions of former numbers? I'm like, man, there's a lot of offensive lineman selections he's making right now. And then it just dawned on me that we're in the offensive lineman area of numbers right now. Yeah, it literally just hit me. You know what I want? I want an offensive lineman to select a 0 or skill position player number. I just think that would be a trendsetter. You don't have to be a big ugly 71 or 73 or you can be a single digit player too. Like Teron Armstead, he deserves to be a single digit player. Trent Williams, single digit player.
I have to check because there's still some rules that apply, and I don't know where the offensive linemen stand on there. They changed the rules. Like, to me, we're seeing Jalen Phillips with 15. To me, it's weird. Sorry, but a linebacker with 15 is just weird. Bradley Chubb with number 2, it's weird.
I mean, this goes back to the college years and college.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, they all want single digits. So
does it make him look slimmer? I mean, what's the deal?
No, single digits means you're an elite boss.
Oh, so what's that say about Jason Taylor, who was 99?
He played in the era where they had to get 99, and Jason, when he got that 99, he was a nobody, right?
He was a third round pick from Akron, who not a whole lot of people knew about.
You think he got a choice to get the 99?
Oh, hell no.
Okay, all right. He just
you will wear 99 and you will like it.
Exactly. And then it became a legendary number that should be, retired. 54. You think Zach Thomas chose 54? No, they were just like, here, 5th round pick, here's 54. So
they should be retired if nobody else if they're never going to give it to somebody else. But we know we're going to get into that same conversation. Why them and not the Hall of Famers?
True. Yes.
I'm sorry, the other Hall of Famers, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's bring it back to the present. So that wasn't so bad for those of you out there who don't like this, our little trip back in time. So today is...
If you didn't like it, we weren't stopping it.
Oh, correct. And again...
I mean, we might stop it when we get to 200, though, because I'm sorry.
We will do what the people want. Literally, when we look... Yes, I look at the comments. I know this may come as a great shock to people based on sometimes my reactions. Yes, I look at the comments. And again, there's way more positive than negative. If we reach a point where it goes the other way, we'll stop it. That's not a problem. We aim to please.
Absolutely.
So today's the last practice before the game against the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday, as we're taping this, because we have life to live and don't necessarily want to wait for the Dolphins' official injury report.
It came out.
It just did?
No, it came out a couple minutes ago. I'll give you the rundown. Robert Hunt is the only player who's out. Elijah Campbell surfaced on the injury report with a knee today. He was limited, but he's questionable for the game. Also questioned was Tyreek Hill, Javon Holland, Xavier Howard, Austin Jackson, and Emmanuel Ogba. That's it.
One more.
One more?
Cam Smith.
Cam Smith with a hamstring injury. Okay. Yeah. So
my apologies for bitching about the injury report not being out yet. So there we go.
Everybody else is expected to play. And let me go through my ruling of whether or not I think a player will play, unless you'd like to do this together. Your call, sir.
Let's do it together. Hold on. Before we get to that, though, let's do the Dallas one. as expected, defensive tackle Jonathan Hankins, who's kind of their anchor in run defense, is out.
And if you do not understand the value of Jonathan Hankins being out, you need to watch Behind Enemy Lines, which is sponsored by YouBreak Will Fix. It's episode 167 or something like that with Clarence Hill. Best Behind the Enemy Lines. I strongly recommend you watch it. You'll find out a lot about the Cowboys.
They're all good,
Yes.
and every week it's like that's the best one yet. That's the best one yet. That's the best one. They're all good. They've all been.
Which one do you think is our best? Oh, I mean,
come on. Mac Jones is better than Tua. I mean, come on.
I mean, that was the best reaction. Was that really the best episode though? Because I actually liked our conversation with the Raider, with your homeboy from the Raiders,
Hondo.
He was entertaining. He gave us jokes.
Hondo's funny, yeah.
But I think Clarence is a realist and a straight shooter, and he's like, no Jonathan Hankins, no chance. Like, because you can't stop the run.
Except. Yes, I'm going to do I'm going to throw out the except because that's what I do. I want to point the one that with Benjamin Albright of the Broncos before the classic ass whooping also was very good, and it might have been even better had we gotten him the following week as a Behind Enemy Lines revisited. Man, that would have been a fun one. Here's why I say maybe not quite so fast. Let's realize that Buffalo ran smack dab at the Cowboys. That's not necessarily the style of running game the Dolphins employ, which is more around the perimeter. So I think not having Hankins was a lot more hurtful for Dallas against Buffalo than it will be against the Dolphins. And you're giving me the side look.
Just because you don't run up the gut doesn't mean that you can't run up the gut. I'm just saying.
We haven't seen it.
You've seen it enough. You've seen it. There's been at least 50 to 60 rushing plays up the gut. Doesn't mean that they're all sexy. Like even a lot of Raheem's touchdown runs have been up the gut. Big touchdown runs. They can do it. Do I know if an injured Dolphins offensive line can do it?
Well,
I don't know.
That's the other part of the equation because it's not
Rob Hunt is a way better run blocker than he is a pass blocker.
Who's that?
Rob Jones. Rob Jones is a way better run blocker than he is a pass blocker.
He's not Robert Hunt.
Yeah,
with all due respect, I like Robert Jones, but he's not Robert Hunt. And Liam, as well as he's played, is not Connor Williams.
Listen, another thing before we even continue with Dallas's injuries, and there are a lot of injuries, and they're quite significant as well. Man, is Liam getting showered with praise by his teammates and his coaches for what he's doing, what he's playing through, what he's sacrificing with to be out there for his team. And today, I have been hard on Liam. It's the Eichenberg Express, and I take ownership for it because Liam should be playing better. He has a higher level of talent. And man, the respect that he's earned this season from his teammates has been quite admirable. Now let's just try to get better and not get anybody else hurt this season. Just my thing.
Let's do it. I think that's an excellent plan. I like it. I endorse it.
Yeah.
Let's continue on with the Dallas. Forgive me for looking at my phone like this. I'm blind. Tyron, this is a big one. Tyron Smith is dealing with a back injury. Their starting left tackle. Their very good starting left tackle is doubtful.
It's December, man. And as who said it in the media? Nobody is going to feel sorry for you about your injuries. Was it Mike McDaniel?
Probably.
Yeah. I forget who said it. Like nobody, you can have a laundry list of injuries. Nobody in the NFL is going to feel sorry for you because they got their own. This is December football.
Correct.
Yeah.
What they're going to say is it sucks to be you. I mean,
yeah. Zach Martin has got the thigh issue. He's questionable. He was limited today during practice. And then we got Malik Hooker ankle injury. He was limited, and then he's questionable. And Tony Pollard has a thumb, full. But let's slap at that thumb a little bit.
Let's swipe at that at that ball. Okay. Do we want to go through the Dolphin players, and do we want to do the same exercise we did last week where
Sure,
you,
let's
you
do
beat
it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
no, you beat me 3-1 last week. I didn't appreciate that.
Are we keep? Why do we need to keep score? What are
Because
we?
isn't life about keeping score? Okay,
No,
fine.
it's
We won't
not.
keep
It's
score.
about loving people and sharing that love.
Oh,
See?
nice. I like that. Kumbaya. I like that.
Yes.
Now, if we don't keep score, we'll come back on Monday and I'll say, see, I was right. I like that. I like that. It's a good idea.
Tyreek Hill. Uh, Tyreek watched him today. I did not support him practicing for a second straight day. Tyreek ran out on us, so he didn't have to talk to the media. And I totally understand and support it. Trust me, I'd rather you talk than begrudgingly talk. And we'll be discussing that a little bit later. So Tyreek's playing, man. And I know I said that last week. Tyreek is playing. Like, Tyreek knows how big this game is. And he got stuff to talk to Michael Parsons because, they run the two big podcasts, and I can't believe that they haven't been smack talking each other.
Oh, no, but they're buddies. See, Parsons said that Tyreek hooked him up, as I wrote on alldolphins.com earlier today. Tyreek hooked him up with some tickets so he could take his family. Very interesting. Mike McDaniel was asked point blank, was it a high ankle sprain? Tyreek's done a good job with practicing. There have been no setbacks. There was no. Now, this is one of two things. Number one is it's a high ankle sprain, and McDaniel doesn't want to confirm it, or
no, he said it was an ankle sprain.
No, he said it was an ankle. He didn't even say sprain, and
yes,
he completely ignored was it a high ankle sprain. So it's one, it is a high ankle sprain, and he doesn't want to say it, or B, he doesn't want to go down that path to describe a particular injury, because if he does it with Tyreek, then he's going to be asked about other players. For example,
well, you deep in that rabbit hole. You deep in that, like you're
correct. If he does it with Tyreek, then it's going to be asked all the time. And then again, it varies from coach to coach. There are coaches who literally start their press conferences. Okay, here's a rundown of the injuries. Okay, McDaniel doesn't operate that way.
I was about to say, where's the fun in that? Like,
well, it eliminates a lot of questions where it's,
yeah.
Okay.
You could address more pressing stuff. But you know what's funny today? I don't think we were all as a media contingent prepared for Mike McDaniels. He gave us some short answers. You know how we're always like literally expecting to get one question in because that's all you can get in a Mike McDaniel press conference? He had some short answers today, and we basically punched ourselves out of questions. We were all sitting there like making up stuff. And it was like a rope-a-dope for us because we're just so used to all I got to have is one, maybe two questions. And if something motivates me, inspires me, follow up on it. No, Mike McDaniel, we were all punched out. And he was just sitting there rope-a-doping us. He was like, more, give me more.
So and McDaniel won media 0 today.
Yeah. Oh, no, he beat it 2-0. He also was giving out gifts to, it looks like, Dolphins support staff. Okay. Wearing a hat, wearing a Merry Christmas hat, walking around handing out envelopes, doing a ho ho ho, and then he gave us a ho ho ho. He didn't give us a gift, but if I did get a gift from Mike McDaniel, it would be those fly shades that he wears all the time. Man, I
figured you'd appreciate those. Okay,
I don't have the budget for that. By the way, I did find out about Tehran's shirt. The
STFU, yeah.
It's a designer, a special designer, and I believe he said the T-shirt was $400. I was like, damn,
must be nice to have that kind of disposable.
That's my sneaker money. I can't pay that on a shirt. Like,
I see. Even if I could, I would. You would never catch me dead spending $400. Well, although I'm sure Tehran's not paying $400.
What would you spend $400 on? What would Alan Poupard spend $400 on? What would
a car?
You mean tires for a car?
one tire, really? Actually,
what have you spent $400 on?
Recently, something involving the family, like a part part of a trip, like an outing on a trip, on a vacation, or an outing with the fam,
So you
something
put
like
it
that.
in vacations.
Yeah,
Yes. Okay.
I'm not into material things. I can have my car for 12 years if it lasts. You've seen how I dress. I'm not exactly stylish. Uh, so
Yeah. No. I will admit I've spent $400 on a number of things in my life. A number of things. But
there you
everybody has their, spoil.
go.
Yeah. Everybody has their.
Exactly. Okay, so my prediction for Tyreek is I also think he's going to play. I also think he's going to let me rephrase that. He's going to start, and hopefully he makes it through the game. If there becomes a pain tolerance issue, if he gets shut down or plays half the game, I would not necessarily be shocked.
Hmm. Javon Holland,
Zero chance.
zero chance as well. Xavier Howard,
He's playing.
I agree. He's playing as well. Xavier Howard, Austin Jackson. Is it my turn or your turn? I think it's my turn.
Whichever
Is
you'd
it?
like.
Um, we talked to Austin Jackson today. I talked to him. This oblique injury is something that he has been dealing with for quite a while, and in fact, I think he said earlier in the season, he knows exactly what it is. It's not going anywhere. It's been here for a while. It's just getting worse. Um, we might be looking at a situation where he practices once a week just to make it to game days for the rest of the season.
Mhm.
A lot of treatment, a lot of care, and this is where we are. And I don't think it's a surprise that it was a point of emphasis to get a contract done, because could you imagine if something had happened and it got worse, and then you're on IR, so this is part of what fans have to understand, and what I hope people who are following me throughout my career and follow all Dolphins, there is a business element to this game, and there are 53 franchises on that Miami Dolphins team, and every player has to do what is in their best interest for their franchise. When I looked at and just really scoped out the details of the deal regarding Austin Jackson, it's a respectable deal. But I would not have signed it, because ultimately it forced Austin Jackson to take a pay cut this year to ultimately make more money in the end. Now, does it give him financial security? Absolutely. Especially because you never know what's going to happen with his body in situation like that. But he's here, he's pushing it, he's on the line, and I definitely expect him to start on Sunday. Now, he's facing a hell of a task against Michael Parsons, but he'll be out there.
Yeah, and I will second what you said about individual franchises, and the point I will make on that is for those who would begrudge players for looking out for themselves and not being loyal to the team. Guess what? If the team that has no more use for a player, loyalty doesn't exist. So
There's
it's gotta work
a
both ways.
one-way street to loyalty, and the teams generally have none.
Correct. The teams are going to look out for their best interests, so players should absolutely do the same for them without question. I agree with you. Like right here, right here.
Yeah.
I think he's going to get it out and try it also.
We got Cam. I know. Emmanuel Ogba, hamstring injury, questionable. I will start. I definitely think he plays, and here's the reason why I think he plays. He only plays about 10 snaps on defense anyway, so I think he can gut it out. Uh, and and you know how transparent I am. I said to Emmanuel, I went up to him and I told him like I know how difficult this season has been for you, and I'm proud of you for the way that you've handled it, because not a lot of people would have been as professional as you have been being put in this situation. And I get it. You're the highest paid player. You're making $15 million. Nobody is going to shed a tear for you. But think about wanting to be a contributor for this team after being a star on the team, and basically a defensive coordinator being like, don't want you, don't need you. And then when you do play, you're hella productive in your 166 snaps on defense. Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
The dancing head is like,
Sacks, interceptions. Come on, man.
yeah, but okay, I'm going to be the bad guy. So say good night to the bad guy. A lot of the production has been in late stages of blowouts. If we're going to be honest about it. Okay. And here's the other point.
He's had some of it in games and moments that mattered.
Okay. Here's the other point I want to make. And sure, props to Emmanuel Agba for not making waves despite his diminished or completely non-existent role. However, number one, I would
submit. That sounded really disrespectful. But this guy is completely non-existent role. Yeah.
However, let's not pretend like most players would start bitching all over the place. And I will bring Exhibit A.
Okay.
What, are you pointing a finger at me like this?
No. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was. Yeah,
no, I'm like, okay.
Let's go with Exhibit
A. Mike Gesicki last year, you weren't covering the team last year, and you want to talk about a humbling season where the guy was like a major factor in the passing game, and last year was like, Mike who? And the dude, and as the same caveat applies to him as applies to Agba, the fact that he was making a nice chunk of change last year on the franchise tag. Was it 10.8 million? Like this year, Emmanuel Agba is 15 million. And what I said about Gesicki last year applies to Agba this year. Like, pay me that money and don't use me. I'll be perfectly cool with it. I mean, let's be honest about it. And the other factor also is, are these guys necessarily in a position where they're superstars where treat me right, or I'm going to go on the market and somebody's going to snap me up immediately at pretty much what I'm making now? No. And that's the same with Gesicki, same with Agba.
Yeah, he's in the same situation as Gesicki. You're gonna be struggling to get half of what you got paid this year. And fortunately for Emmanuel, he's got a good agent in Drew Rosenhaus, and Drew can sell it. Like, in the right scheme, Emmanuel's still a good player, and he's shown that in his 166 snaps.
Brian Flores.
Yes. Okay. Y'all, come on. We all know. We all know.
You don't know what that Emmanuel that Flores is.
He fits into that scheme. Yeah.
Maximized his skill set beautifully.
I think
had to Agba for having been a good teammate. But this is not surprising. Emmanuel's a really, really good dude. So.
And the final one with the injury concern is Cam Smith, who.
Can I start?
Yes, please.
0 chance
that he plays.
Correct.
Oh, I think he absolutely plays. And
okay.
Here's why, because he's going to play special teams. Now, will he play defense? Absolutely not. But that's because Vic Fangio doesn't like him.
Doesn't trust him. Don't make it personal. Or that he doesn't like him because he doesn't trust him.
If you don't like me, you don't like me. I don't care why you don't like me. You don't like me. I don't care. Like, does it really matter why you don't like me? To you, probably.
Well, like I like you, and if we go to a concert, I'm not going to trust you to pick the concert because I don't like your musical taste, but I still like you. See what I'm saying? Whoa, that doesn't.
I wouldn't want to go to a concert with you either.
I know you wouldn't. So, I left you speechless there for a second.
Yeah.
And that merits one for me.
What else we have injury wise?
And by the way, and you're saying they need him on special teams. Chris Brooks is back. So I don't know if they play.
But he plays a different role than Cam Smith on special teams.
That's what I'm not sure about that. But
what? Cam's a gunner. Cam Smith's a gunner.
And has he been the gunner the entire season? Because I don't think so.
He's been a gunner. He's been a gunner for the majority of the second half of the season. He's been a gunner. He's been a good gunner too. He's carved out a nice little special. He's probably one of the top 5 players on special teams right now. So
okay, well, he's got a hammy. I'm saying he doesn't play. So there.
All right. Okay, and then you elevate Ethan Bonner, right?
There you go.
Yeah, we're predicting Saturday's elevations. Oh shoot, we got to do a show Saturday.
We do.
Yeah, we do. Don't we?
We do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big game, biggest game of the season. What you talking about? Till next week.
Exactly. And then it'll be the next biggest game.
That is true. Let's go with Liam Eichenberg, calf. He's not even.
He played last week, so
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody's injured. You know what I found funny in the press conference?
what's that?
Mike McDaniel was addressing how difficult it is to get Raheem Mostert to sit out practices, and he basically was just like, Raheem fights it. And he's like, because of our relationship and where it is right now, I basically say, Raheem, you're not practicing, and I don't want to hear it, or something of that nature. Like, yeah, I don't care what you say, and you could absolutely see, because you could absolutely see them talking. They're not player coach, they're friends. And because Raheem calls him Mikey, like who else in the world? And I do need to ask that question. Who else in the world calls Mike McDaniel Mikey?
That is awesome. And by the way, you bring that up, so let me address something here. Because I was checking out our good friends at Cowboys Country, the Fan Nation sister site. We do a great job over there, and they had a story of
sister site to alldolphins.com, which you can find all your work for free, no subscription required, no $20 a month fee. Go get all your coverage from alldolphins.com.
Ours is better, but theirs is very good too. Anyway, they brought up an article on another site talking about what the Cowboys should do at running back last year, and one of those was trading for Raheem Mostert. And I was looking at that, I'm like, yeah, there's a chance the Dolphins trade Raheem Mostert. Like none. Seriously.
Yeah,
so
zero.
If any of you out there somehow found your way and saw that story, Dolphins ain't trading Raheem Mostert. Mike McDaniel loves Raheem Mostert. Raheem Mostert loves being here. He signed at a very reasonable contract last year. He's having a career year. Why in the triple hell would the Dolphins even?
You might have to redo the deal.
Well, his cap number is already low. So
but you know what you could do? You can add a year to it and extend it and give him all of his salary in base salary. Give him all his salary in a signing bonus and bring him back down to the minimum. Let me look at that just to make sure that I'm telling you the right thing.
I think he signed like 2 years for $4 million.
Yeah, he signed 2 years for $4 million a year, and
no, $4 million total, unless I'm severely
mistaken.
No,
it's not $4 million total.
Sure about that?
Pretty much, but I'm bringing it up. I'm bringing it up.
I'll bring it up too. My computer's faster than yours.
Okay. Wow. You gonna throw shade on my computer? No, he signed 2 years, 5.6 million. 2 years, 5.6 million.
Okay, so it's between us actually.
So you can actually, because right now his base salary is 2.35, and you can add an extra year to it and drop that base salary to 1.2, so you can extend him and get. And I think he's definitely earned an extension. A guy coming off a career year, you tell me you're not going to reward him and give him an extension. What message is that going to send to the team? Not that you don't have issues. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. No, but by the same token, if they bring down his cap number, it's step one out of 7,000 steps to deal with a nasty cap situation last year.
Mm-hmm. I think, I think the world of Raheem. I know Mike McDaniel thinks the world of Raheem, and I think Raheem is going wherever Mike McDaniel goes. And I'm talking not just this season. I'm talking far beyond his playing career. Like, I think Raheem has a job on Mike McDaniel's staff when he's ready for it.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
You have to find out if he's willing to put in the time to be on the football staff, because he's got 3 kids. Like for example, I don't know if he's in the same mindset as Zach Thomas. Zach Thomas could be a great coach, wanted no part of it, wanted to be with his kids. So it's not everybody's going to be like, whoop, straight to coaching.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But then there are some lifers like Frank Gore who not coaching, but he went to. I used to say to Frank all the time, because we actually have a friendship. And I used to say to Frank all the time, and I'm proud of him, I was like, don't be a coach. You need to go be an executive. You need to go be in the scouting department. And I say this to a lot of players, because a lot of former players, because literally These analytical people, they
Oh,
have
we're going on
no
that
idea.
rant.
Yeah, I'm on that rant again. Yes, I'm on that rant. These analytics people, they have no idea what a real football player looks like. None, zero. And only the people who've actually been that and been in the trenches and know what a dog is and know what a dog looks like. And I'm not talking about the roof dog. Those are the only people that I want picking my groceries. That's me. You understand what I'm saying? And I get it. Bill Parcells. There's some people. Andy Reid never played, but you earn that. But ultimately, the best selectors of talent to me are the former people that played. And
Andy
I'm
Reid, you saying Andy Reid didn't play? He did partake in punt, pass, and kick when he was 11 years old. You never seen that highlight
yes, I have. I just
where he looked like he was he looked like he was a college player competing among 11-year-old boys. It's actually funny to see. I can't think off the top of my head like who the top talent evaluators are other than Ozzie Newsome, and Ozzie Newsome obviously was a Hall of Fame player, in addition to being a Hall of Fame executive. But
Dan
outside of that,
Morgan, I believe, is
who
with Dan Morgan,
who's he with?
Carolina Panthers. I believe. I think he's.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd use them as an example right now. After that,
Wow.
dude, seriously, gave up
Okay.
multiple draft picks to pick the wrong quarterback.
Oh
Yeah, that's not a good
wow,
look.
you shady little guy, aren't you? Huh? Okay, no problem. All right. Assistant general manager for the Carolina Panthers. But yes, all right, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean it's early. Everybody said Miami Dolphins picked the wrong quarterback when they took Tua over Herbert. I'm just saying.
jury's still out.
You just want those bullets, huh? You really want them.
Well,
Um,
it's still too early. The way the season is going, can't question the choice of Tua in any way, shape, or form. The book has yet to be completely written,
the way
and
the
and
career
it's
is
the same.
going, you can't
Sorry?
question the choice. I said the way the career is going, you can't question the choice of Tua. I know that won't come out your mouth.
Mm, Um, and having said all that, yeah, it's way too early. But from what I've seen of the two quarterbacks, and I understand the talent around them, C.J. Stroud looks like 3 times the quarterback, and as Bryce Young, and it's not just because he has a stronger arm. I'll save you the trouble, Omar. Let's talk
Okay.
some Jalen Ramsey now.
Uh,
We
yes, we made the people wait.
made the people wait. Go ahead.
Jalen talked after practice, and I'm going to set this up absolutely accurately and properly. He was forced to talk. Jalen saw us, packed his stuff up, ran out, and was forced to come back in and talk to us.
Can I interject real quickly?
Yes.
Okay, for those who might be questioning the idea of being forced to talk, per rules, every player in the NFL is required to speak to the media or be made available to the media once during the week and after the game. So go ahead, Omar.
These are the rules. We're not going to police them unless it happens habitually for multiple weeks. And then, even then, we work very hard not to lead to a player being fined. But let me get back to the situation. Jalen was forced to come back in and talk to us, and then gave us his consistent, y'all got 2 minutes, very irritated tone. He does not enjoy talking to the media. It's fine. We don't enjoy talking to you either. Um, I'm just being real. And
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
yeah, we don't enjoy talking to you either. So nobody was twisting his arm to come back. Nobody was begging for him to come back. He did come back. We started asking him questions about potentially shadowing CeeDee Lamb, and he basically flat out told the game plan, I'm not shadowing CeeDee Lamb. That's not what they want me to do, which didn't seem like he was very pleased by that proposition. Now he was irritated the whole interview, but the interview continued, and then it was brought up about wanting the challenge of shadowing CD, wanting the challenge of being a shadow cornerback, and he's been a shadow all of his career, just like Xavier Howard has been. And his responses was, "Y'all know who I am. Y'all know, basically, y'all know who I am." He said it twice. Y'all know, before he said, next question. He didn't want to answer the question. Then he just, got in his feelings. And I personally, and this is just me because I don't want people to say that I'm reading between the lines or injecting thought, or maybe he just had a bad day or whatever. There's a lot there to unwrap. And so I just put the video out and I said, y'all tell me what you think. And there are a whole lot of interesting theories, about what the irritation, the anger, and the frustration and the short answers were. But he has gone on record and say he's bored during games and he wants to shadow people. Now, X wants to shadow people too, but they don't get a lot of action. And when you're two elite cornerbacks, you're not going to get a lot of action. So what happens is Cater gets targeted per game. I believe it's at seven passes thrown at him per game.
And the linebackers.
Yes. Cater and the linebackers get targeted per game. Okay. Well, I think that there is a little bit of discomfort amongst the Dolphins secondary in regards to game plans from Mr. Vic Fangio and his number 5 defense, just from this shadowing approach. Because technically, if you know your inability to shadow is going to get a particular player attacked on a weekly basis, why would you not try to counteract that by doing something? Especially when that something can be as simple as, oh, okay, when CeeDee Lamb does go inside to the nickel, we just have X and Cater flip-flop. And that would prevent CeeDee Lamb from attacking, from the Dallas Cowboys from attacking Cater when he's in the nickel spot. So
or Ramsey and Cater flip-flop, one of the two.
Yeah. Ramsey and Kate. Yeah, no, that's what I said. I said Ramsey.
No, you said X.
Oh, okay. My bad. My bad. So the issue is why is Vic Fangio so resistant to having a cornerback shadow when your best defensive performance of the season, the one that pushed you from 9th to 5th, featured Jalen Ramsey. Now I see what I'm doing. Featured Jalen Ramsey shadowing Garrett Wilson, the Jets' best pass rusher. So I'm sorry. The Jets' best receiver. Yeah, sorry. Why don't you take over?
Well, no, and
you clearly see I'm distracted.
I get it. And here's the thing: wide receivers have a reputation for being divas, and sometimes happens with high-end cornerbacks. And I think Jalen Ramsey, unless I'm severely mistaken, his reputation is kind of a little bit. Correct me if I'm a little bit of a diva.
You call it?
Unless I'm severely mistaken, this is what I remember on the periphery. That Jalen Ramsey, he is good and he knows it's good and he wants to be treated like he's good and he's not afraid to tell you.
That doesn't make you a diva. That doesn't make you. Hold on, wait a
minute. What's the difference? And what's the difference between that and a diva wide receiver who wants the ball because he's good and he knows he's good and he's going to tell you he's good? It's kind of in the same ballpark. And the other factor is, I'm going to take issue with you on that one, Omar, as I did before. To me, equating the best performance on defense of the season strictly to Ramsey shadowing Garrett Wilson omits the very important fact that the Dolphin offensive line completely feasted on the Jets offensive line. I could have shadowed Garrett Wilson and he still would have wound up with only modest numbers because Zach Wilson never had. Okay, maybe exaggerating a little bit, but
okay, yes.
You catch my drift.
No, I didn't say that it was credited to that. I did. Okay. One, pass rushing coverage washes each other's hands. We will agree on that, right? They go.
Hell of a lot of washing by the defensive line in that game. I mean, they brought the soap, they turned on the water, and they put the baby in the bathtub. And the other one was just there. The cornerbacks were just kind of watching, actually.
Oh, so Eli Apple didn't make a play.
No, he did. Okay.
It
was
like
80% pass rush.
Elijah Campbell didn't make a play.
What did Elijah Campbell make?
When he deflected the pass. You saw the deflection. Don't pretend like
you
did.
75-25 for the pass rush.
I'll give you 35-65.
Not acceptable. 70-30.
I'm not moving from my line.
Why mine? I said what I said. So there.
Yeah. Listen, I am. But here's the thing: if something that you did led to success last week, and you're facing a similar challenge now with a far better quarterback, what?
But also with better wide receivers opposite. Like when you were playing the Jets, it's Garrett Wilson and Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb. Okay. Now you're facing Tyler Conklin's the tight end. Now you're facing.
Tell me the receivers. Yeah. Okay.
Brandon Cooks for the Cowboys.
Booty cheeks.
Wow. The other one is Gallup.
Michael Gallup, booty cheeks.
Jesus. Wow.
I mean,
not better than Alan Lazard or Randall Cobb at this stage of his career.
Alan Lazard was a baller last year.
Yeah.
Randall Cobb has had a better career than either one of those receivers.
Who? What?
Randall Cobb has better career than either one of them.
He's also 57 years old. I mean, okay, sorry, 48.
38, probably.
I know. I'm not.
You're actually. I'm going to pull Alan Poupard and look up how old Randall Cobb is.
Go ahead.
Now you really got me interested.
He's at least 37.
He's 33. Sir.
Okay, and Jake Ferguson's a very nice tight end. Gallup's numbers are not good.
Moved off your point. Now,
sorry?
I said, you see how quickly you moved off your point?
What point was that? That Brandon Cooks and Michael Gallup are a hell of a lot better as complementary wide receivers than Alan Lazard or Randall Cobb.
They're better. They're not. They're better. Maybe those two would perform better if they had a better quarterback than Zach Wilson. But we're splitting hairs.
Time to throw.
But hear my point. Hear me out, Linda. Okay? Here, listen. Who on the Dolphins defense is attacked most of the season?
You know who it is.
Just say the name.
Tater Kohu.
Okay. So if this guy is attacked most of the season, why would you not do something to prevent him from being attacked most of the season?
Dude, I don't disagree with you. I'm just trying to say, since Vic and I are very simpatico.
You are. You guys are two peas in a pod. You absolutely.
I am just presented from his vantage point. I'm not saying it's right because.
Okay, but if you're just being stubborn for the sake of being stubborn,
I agree. I'm with you there.
Like, what are we doing?
I agree with you.
You okay? In the week, you actually, whether it was by force or willingly, did something that you despise. You go from the 9th defense to the 5th best defense, finally achieving your goal from when the season began, getting there. Because their whole goal has been to be a top 5 defense this season. Okay? What?
That's who?
Says my sources. Okay? Says my sources. That's who says.
Okay.
What do you think? Their goal was to be the number 1 defense in the NFL? No.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Of course, they want to be the best it can possibly be. But, dude, I agree with you. And the other point you can make in favor of your argument is they have 2 top-notch man coverage cornerbacks. Absolutely. And they could even rotate on the guy if X is fine physically.
That sounds like a good idea to me.
Take turns.
That doesn't sound like a bad idea. However, I do have issue with them swapping sides because X has primarily only played on the right side all season.
But this is what we talked about yesterday, that see where Lamb lines up. If it's on the left side or in the slot, Ramsey has him. If it's on the right side, X has him, and then Cater goes outside.
or maybe the right side in the slot. Maybe X goes inside, and then Cater goes on the boundary. The thing is, you got to stop Cater from being defending Lamb, at least on third downs.
There's no reason to have Cater on Lamb.
So if you don't think that Ramsey's irritated response is a byproduct of Vic's stubborn approach,
Except he ain't the boss.
I mean, yeah.
He has a right. Here's the thing.
Who ain't the boss? Who ain't the boss?
Ramsey's not the boss.
Okay, you're right. Okay. I thought you were about to say Vic ain't the boss.
No. Oh, Vic definitely the boss of the defense.
But, okay, exactly. Yes.
It's like, you can be pissed off about it all you want. I don't know how kosher it is to let that out publicly the way he did. You can't put on a happy face. Not a happy face, ha ha ha, but I mean, just do your shtick. It wasn't going to be long anyway without looking so obviously irritated.
I mean, he was obviously irritated because he was forced to be there. So, I mean, hey.
He should have just, and I'm with you on that one. If it's a one-shot deal, he should have just kept on walking and told the media relations person who tried to grab him, listen, I'm not in a good headspace. I don't want to say things I shouldn't say. Let me skip it this week. I don't think any of the media members would have like, had a cow about it.
Yeah. I mean, now the problem is we're sitting here connecting the dots, and I'm a very good dot connector, as you know. And
you're not the only one, bud.
I didn't say that I was the only one. I didn't say that I was the only one.
But if you're saying I am very good at it, then you kind of
hey, I mean, we're good dot connectors. So it's my concern is, and has always been, and Vic Fangio, I've had to write an apology column, but my concern is his stubbornness is going to turn off some people. And not saying that it's not going to lead, but here's the thing. They have evolved as a defense in terms of how they're playing, how they're covering, how they're blitzing, how they're attacking. And a lot of it, I'm just gonna tell you, a lot of it is them incorporating things that they did last season under a different scheme into Vic's scheme. So, but you want all the credit, even though some of these ideas or advocations for things have been driven and initiated by the players. But, as long as you get credit for it, it's all good.
Yeah, but then do we not get into a situation where if he starts talking about how certain things came to be, then you're getting into a situation where you're talking about how the sausage gets made, which you and I both know coaches generally want no part.
Mike McDaniel just broke down for 3 minutes how he strategically creates a game plan and carves up his 64 first plays, and then his thought process on play calling for each and every down. 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
No. Did you say 64 is 24?
24. Yeah, I said 24. Yeah.
You said 64, but okay.
Okay. All right. My bad.
All right.
But do you think Mike McDaniel literally made the sausage for you? Like, I know Vic Fangio is not Mike McDaniel, but you're taking credit for things that you didn't really advocate for, or you didn't really create. And yeah, it's your defense, but maybe it would be better if you were less of a curmudgeon and more open-minded.
How dare you complain about curmudgeons? Here's the thing, though. I don't recall Vic ever saying, I did this or I wanted to do this. If it's kind of suggested that his defense has evolved, you want the.
Hey.
Okay, I think it might be time to wrap this up. I may have a situation I need to attend to. My whole point is I don't recall him necessarily actively taking credit, maybe just not deflecting if it's suggested that it was him. And do you really expect him to say, no, this was the guys who suggested that? How many coaches really do that?
Fair, fair. But
Okay.
when people suggest things, people create ideas, people come to you with thought processes on how we can play better. Your first response shouldn't be no. All right, and we'll leave it at that.
Okay. What time tomorrow, Marcus? I'm going to have to wrap this up with a big thank you for everyone watching as
Let's
well.
shoot for noon, but let's be fluid. I'm not 100% sure. So
Okay.
I got a toddler to care for, and that gets a little sketchy. All righty. Well, we enjoy everybody who comes. You know where to find our work, alldolphins.com. And we will be back tomorrow, tentatively at noon, but we'll announce it on the social media channels. All right,
Thanks,
folks.
everyone.